Hello everyone, and welcome back to our journey through time. Last time, we witnessed the birth of a planet, a chaotic sphere of fire and fury. But what happens when the fire dies down? What comes after the storm? The fury faded. The fire slept. And a profound silence returned to the very bones of the world. Imagine a planet cloaked in darkness, a landscape of cooling rock and settling ash. The Earth, once a raging inferno, now held its breath. For millions of years, this was the reality. A slow, patient process of cooling. The planet's crust hardened, forming vast, jagged plains under a sky thick with volcanic gases and water vapor. Steam billowed from deep fissures in the cracked earth, a constant reminder of the molten heart still beating below. The air was thick, heavy, and unbreathable, a chemical soup waiting for a catalyst. The world was a canvas of gray and black, a silent, sleeping giant. Then, something changed. High in the toxic atmosphere, the immense clouds of water vapor, once expelled by volcanoes, began to condense. The temperature had dropped just enough. It started with one drop. Then another. The sky wept, and the thirsty earth drank. This wasn't a gentle spring shower. This was a deluge of epic proportions, a storm that would last for millennia. Rain, acidic and relentless, fell upon the hot stone, instantly turning to steam with a violent hiss, only to rise, cool, and fall again. This titanic cycle, a celestial battle between water and rock, began to carve the planet's surface. Tiny trickles became streams, streams grew into raging rivers, and these rivers, carrying dissolved minerals from the virgin rock, began their long journey towards the lowest points on the planet. From the tears of the sky, oceans were born, and they remembered the fire. The first oceans were not the cool, blue expanses we know today. They were hot, acidic, and choked with minerals, including vast amounts of iron, which likely gave them a murky, greenish hue. As these primordial seas grew, they swelled and merged, covering most of the planet. Waves, driven by a moon much closer than it is today, crashed against the newborn cliffs of continents still in their infancy. This was a world of water, a dynamic, churning cauldron where the planet's geological and chemical future was being forged. The constant interaction between water and rock was creating a new kind of chemistry, a rich, elemental broth unlike anything that had existed before. And in the deep, in those sunless, pressurized abysses, something moved. Not yet alive, but no longer still, down near hydrothermal vents, where superheated, mineral-rich water spewed from the planet's core. A magical dance of chemistry was taking place. Molecules, complex chains of carbon, began to link and replicate in the warm, nutrient-rich water. These were the building blocks. In the swirling currents of the dark, soupy ocean, these organic compounds swirled and combined, shielded from the harsh ultraviolet radiation that bombarded the planet's surface. It was a microscopic ballet of potential, a quiet, unseen revolution happening in the cradle of the deep, for millions of years. This process continued, a slow, patient assembly of life's fundamental components. Then, a flicker. It did not crawl, it did not roar, it shimmered, and it breathed. A barrier formed, a simple membrane separating inside from outside. A cell, the first life. These were single-celled organisms, simple prokaryotes, floating in the oceanic soup. They didn't think, they didn't feel, they simply existed, reacting to their environment, consuming the chemical energy around them. Soon, some evolved a remarkable new trick, photosynthesis. Using the faint light that pierced the upper layers of the ocean, they began to turn sunlight into energy. And in doing so, they released a waste product, a gas that would one day change the world forever: oxygen. Life had taken its first breath, and in turn, it was beginning to terraform its own planet. The oceans held their secrets. For now, the surface was a tranquil, if alien, expanse, but deep below, an evolutionary arms race had begun. Life was diversifying, growing more complex, and in the shadows of the deep, new forms were taking shape. The world, now teeming with microscopic life, waited. It was a calm before the storm, a peaceful chapter before the titans would rise from the depths. The age of monsters was on the horizon. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey back to the dawn of life. It's truly humbling to think about our planet's dramatic history. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next episode, where things start to get a whole lot bigger. We'll see you next time.